The destinies of Pablo Casals and the Six Suites for Cello Solo were intimately intertwined. In 1889, then 13-year-old Pau Casals, he preferred Paul, which means peace in his native Catalan, to the Castilian Pablo, which means humble, made the discovery that was to shape his life, and that was almost certainly the most fortuitous serendipity in the history of the arts. One day, I told my father that I needed especially to find some new solo music. Together, we set off for the search. For two reasons, I shall never forget that afternoon. First, my father bought me my first full-size cello. How proud I was to have that wonderful instrument. Then we stopped at an old music shop near the harbor. I began browsing through a bundle of musical scores. Suddenly, I came upon a sheaf of pages crumbled and discolored with age. They were unaccompanied suites by Johann Sebastian Bach for the cello only. I looked at them with wonder. 6 suites for violoncello solo. What magic and mystery, I thought, were hidden in those words. I had never heard of the existence of the suites. Nobody, not even my teachers, had ever mentioned them to me. I forgot our reason for being at the shop. All I could do was to stare at the pages and caress them. That scene has never grown dim. Even today, when I look at the cover of that music, I am back in the old musty shop with its faint smell of the sea. I hurried home, clutching the suites as if they were the crown jewels, and once in my room, I pored over them. I read and reread them. I was 13 at the time, but for the following 80 years, the wonder of my discovery has continued to grow on me. Those suites opened up a whole new world. I began playing them with indescribable excitement. They became my most cherished music. I studied and worked at them every day for the next 12 years. Yes, 12 years would elapse, and I would be 25 before I had the courage to play one of the suites in public at a concert. They had been considered academic works, mechanical, without warmth. Imagine that. How could anyone think of them as being cold when a whole radiance of space and poetry pours forth from them? They are the very essence of Bach, and Bach is the essence of music. The suites had remained hidden like some buried treasure for more than 200 years until Pablo Casals brought them to the astonished attention of the world. In the autumn of 1936, when he was 49 years old, and after having practiced them for 35 years, he finally consented to record them. And the circumstances under which he recorded them. When Casals entered London's Abbey Road studio to record cello suites 2 and 3, the Spanish Civil War was raging. Hitler and Mussolini were supporting Franco. The Republicans were being routed. Casals heard a radio broadcast from Franco's chief of propaganda proclaiming, "That Pablo Casals, I will tell you what I'll do to him when I catch him. I'll put an end to his agitation. I will cut off his arms, both of them, at the elbow." And British Foreign Secretary Anthony Eden chose that day to announce that Britain would prohibit British ships from delivering arms to Republican Spain, joining France and the United States in the arms embargo. Then, on May 31st, 1938, Italian fascist forces, in support of Franco, bombed Granollers, a town near Casals' home. More than 100 people were killed. Casals went into a studio in Paris to record the first suite, and on the day after, laid down the powerful 6th suite. And 2 weeks later, on June 13th, 1939, with Spain now firmly in the grip of Franco's tyranny, Pablo Casals, near suicidal, according to his own telling, entered into the Paris recording studio to complete his immortal recording of the cello suites by performing the 4th and 5th suites. 3 weeks later, Hitler invaded Poland. World War II began. At the age of 93, Casals was asked why he continued to practice the cello 3 hours a day. He answered, "I think I'm beginning to notice some improvement." Pablo Casals lived unfailingly according to his principles of forthrightness and devotion to truth. He died at 96, still full of energy, the love of life, and creativity. What he said about the cello suites and about life itself can just as honestly be said about Pablo Casals. The spirit of Bach is in every note.